Okay, so we just landed here. We're about 2.2 miles north of the river. We saw some tracks, some fresh tracks that crossed the river here not too long ago. And it looked like maybe three bodies. It looks heavy on the sand where we cut them. So we tracked it out, and kind of lost the sign a little bit. And here we go. This is what we run into right here. 2 bundles here, 1 bundle over there. And yeah, 3 bodies.
Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Tom Basili. The crisis at the border is not taking a break for the Christmas holiday. And as we head into the new year, we're seeing the Biden administration's border policies continue to fall apart. Here to talk about it in person, I may add, our border correspondent Jaeson Jones in studio with us today. Great to have you here.
It's good to be with you.
Good to see you. You're usually either in a helicopter or you're out there in the field. And first of all, I want to start off by thanking you. All the fantastic reporting from the border this entire year. It's right from the front lines. It has done so much for our coverage. It's meant so much to our audience. And you're out there literally on the front lines.
Yeah, and trying to show, the American people what's really happening at that border, but more importantly, too, how what's happening there directly impacts them and their families.
Yeah.
And like you were just seeing right there, that was Sergeant Jimmy Morris on Wednesday, as he's one of the best trackers, by the way, along the southwest border. And what he does is really, it's fascinating. He's a tactical flight officer with the Texas Department of Public Safety's Elite Aircraft Division.
Yeah.
But what he's literally doing is taking old technology, something that you would have done in the 1800s, reading sign on the ground, but then overlaying that with a helicopter and some of the most advanced technology and tracking these smugglers and people coming through West Texas. That's something we've never seen before, and I think you're going to see that continue along the southwest border.
Jason, people talk a lot about the volume of people, right?
Yeah,
It's an enormous number of people. It could be 2 million people by the end of the year this year. But is the bigger problem now really the guns and the drugs? How do you view it right now?
I think it's really multi-pronged. One of the problems that Republicans and Democrats alike have had for decades is that we look at that border through the lens of immigration only. And what I'm really trying to do is illuminate the crimes against the state and against our country and what's happening to our citizens. Transnational criminal organizations, whether you're talking about terrorist organizations, the Mexican cartels, our tier 1 gangs in the United States, contracting with all of them. The problem is there's synergy there globally. And they're working with state actors and non-state actors together. And that's where the real issue is.
So when it comes to the drugs, we've heard 11,000 pounds of drugs that have been probably even more. A lot of this fentanyl, and as you and I have talked about many times, the border doesn't stay on the border. The problem with the border comes to your community, and we're seeing that with fentanyl. A lot of that, the experts believe, and we've talked to folks in law enforcement about it, is coming from China. It's Chinese-made fentanyl that is actually coming up. What are you seeing? Do you agree with that? And we now have a crisis within a crisis where the Biden administration is failing to act on a drug crisis that is having a real impact.
No, that's so true. And I look at it a little bit bigger, really. What China's role in this is the chemical precursors, but the cartels, the Mexican cartels, specifically Cartel Jalisco, New Generation, and Sinaloa, are the core problem because they're already transitioning, working with India, getting in chemical precursors like 4-NPP and 4-ANPP. So they're already diversifying. The problem is what the cartels bring to this is not only do they produce the drugs, right, but then they have the Halcon network, the alien smuggling organizations, and all of that contracting with U.S.-based gangs to get it into our country. And one of the things that we do well in the U.S. government is we attack the symptom and not the problem.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to do now is by illuminating this, going down there, showing the folks what's really happening, you can't say it's not occurring anymore.
Let's talk about some of the fresh pictures that you've brought to us, and talk to us about what we're watching and what's going on here.
Those are more bundles. Those are about 50 pounds a piece. And what happens usually in the Alpine, Texas area and West Texas area is La Línea Cartel is who's bringing this drugs in. And you're seeing some of the smugglers that they've apprehended out there. And coming out of an area known as San Antonio del Bravo. And the individual responsible for those drugs is a crook by the name of Chapo Cain. He is well known. He's been there a long time on the Mexico side. But this goes back to having synergy between U.S. government and Mexican forces to work together to go get them. You know, we know who's doing these things. We know how to get the cartels and what needs to be done. But we got to build those relationships back up with the Mexican government, because that's what's really hurting us right now.
Now, you've been embedded with Operation Lone Star on several occasions, and you've done some tremendous reporting from the border with them. But so much of this is about disincentivizing people to make the trip to begin with, something that the Trump administration did very effectively. Yeah. Do you think that the fact that they're out there is starting to have an impact at all? Do you think that it's making a dent? Do you think that it is a disincentive for people to stop coming?
Operation Lone Star is a $1.8 billion, think of that, billion-dollar Texas-funded operation, right? And so what they're utilizing is about 10,000 National Guard troops, State Guard, along with the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Rangers, everything they've got, they're throwing at it. And they're trying to make it more difficult. Here's the problem, is that the crimes against the state that are occurring are tremendous. You're talking about over 1,000 pursuits since March. Think of that.
Wow.
I mean, think of that. Over 80,000 referrals that they've made. I mean, they're seeing numbers like we've never seen before. You got to remember, fiscal year 21, CBP apprehended 1.7 million people at our southwest border. So what you're talking about with, trying to change perception, that is the key. Yeah. And that's what Texas is trying to do, to say, you can go to New Mexico, Arizona, and California, but don't come to Texas, because if you do, you're going to be apprehended if you're going to commit crimes in that state.
Those other states need to be doing the same thing, because clearly Washington isn't doing it. Now, real quick, I've only got about 30 seconds. What should we expect going into 2022, in your view?
It doesn't look good. I'm a big data guy, and so CBP data for apprehensions for October and November, we're already at 338,000 apprehensions in 2 months. So data matters, and it tells us what's coming. That, along with 2,100 pounds of fentanyl seized and 58,000 pounds of methamphetamine.
Wow.
It tells us what the cartels have done and what we're going to expect this year.
This is what's killing people in communities all across America. This is not just about migrants. This is about drugs. It's about guns. It's about deaths in communities all across America.
And
Jaeson,
absolutely fixable, by the way.
Yeah.
We just, we've got to change what we're doing. We've got to start going after these cartels and designate them as terrorist organizations.
Jaeson Jones, thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Great
to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.